Going to be our next caller. Hi, Brian.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Listen, first thing I'd like to say is best wishes to Sandy Jardine, and hope everything's okay with him.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, with the exception of Derek, I have to bring you two guys on the panel to task tonight. For months and months and months, it was in the domain and all debated that the supporters of the football club should be given the right to vote on whether Rangers were accepted back into the SPL. The supporters had their vote, and everybody accepted it, and I've never heard anyone saying it was wrong or criticism about the supporters of any of the Premier League clubs. So the question I need to ask tonight is, and more so to Mark, why is it so wrong when the Rangers Assembly, the Rangers Association, the Rangers Trust, the Union Bears, and you've had guys on tonight who run supporters clubs? The message is quite clear, Mark. Mm-hmm. The Rangers supporters are up in arms of what's happened to our football club. And Jim keeps saying about how long is this going to go. I'll tell you how long this is going to go. It will go on until people start to think about apologising to some of the wrongdoings that's been done to Glasgow Rangers. For example, the tax case, as it stands, not guilty. We've now got a transfer embargo which has limited our abilities to win any of the national trophies because we can't sign players. It's an illegal transfer embargo. Our hands are tied behind our back. We've got 49,000 turning up at the game on Saturday. We don't need anybody else. We will fund ourselves. We will buy our shares. We will buy our merchandise. We will make sure Rangers get back to the top. The message needs to go out to Scottish football. A wee bit of humility, and maybe just say, sorry, we got some of this wrong. That might start to put someone back in to maybe making the Rangers support not feel the way they feel tonight.
Well, Brian,
that's my point.
Yeah, okay, you made your point and you made it well. In my defence, I'm here to ask questions and get answers. So that's exactly what I do. I ask questions of the guests in the studio. We get answers. In terms of asking that particular question, how long is the grudge going to go on? I think it's fairly valid, don't you, Brian?
Yes, Jim, it's the right question to ask, but what I don't understand is, see, if you ask me a question and I give you an answer, I either agree or disagree. What I've said to you tonight is, there is nothing to disagree about this. The Rangers support en masse are telling Scotland how angry we are about what's happened to our football club. Now, no one seems to accept that, but you managed to accept all these other supporters that voted us out the SPL. So what is the difference between us saying we're not happy, we are not going to forget until somebody says we got it wrong, we got some of it wrong, and we apologise? What is wrong with apologising to the Rangers Football Club and saying you shouldn't have had a transfer embargo because it's illegal? The supporters shouldn't have voted us out the SPL. Nobody said sorry to us.
Right, Brian, you make a very good point on the embargo being illegal. That was ruled in a court of law. But Charles Green agreed to it in the 5-way agreement to get Rangers back into football.
He had to. He had to agree to that. I know he had to.
I know he had to. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is, it was a gun put to his head. He was either not playing football. We're happy in the third division. Let's be clear about it. I'll be at the game on Saturday, as I have been all season. In fact, I don't miss a home game. I'll tell you two guys now, I am so angry at what's happened. I will never, until I hear apologies, go into any other football ground other than Ibrox. Even if it's a cup semi-final at Hampden, I won't go. I won't go to watch Scotland until the SFA put their hands up and get off our back and stop giving our club a hard time. Now, our support in mass, I ask them every Saturday. I go around the stadium and I say to people, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on that? You in the studio tonight need to understand, I'm just a man in the street. Our supporters are absolutely up in arms at what's happened to our football club. That's just a fact. You've heard it tonight on the show.
Well, Brian, all I can say is I understand your anger. I do understand it, but you know, if you think people are going to apologise, then you're going to have a hell of a wait, and you'll miss out on a lot of good games, because there is no chance of people coming out and apologise. Decisions might be overturned, and I didn't agree with the transfer embargo. I've said that many times, but people are not going to apologise to Rangers, Brian. I'd be very surprised if that happens.
Brian, I hope you feel you've had your say tonight.